Hi, and welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel, where we're doing another Sandland video because people keep asking in the comments, when am I going to go to Sandland again? So here we are out at Sandland. We are out at the monorail from the Minnesota Zoo that we dragged out here a couple years back. And I've got a couple things to talk about in this video and a couple things to show off because it has been a little while since we've done a Sandland video. So we'll probably look at the tunnels, we'll look at the monorail, we might look at the geodesic dome, all the stuff that we've been working on kind of all year here. And I've tried to start this video 3 or 4 times within the last few months, and I've had endless technical issues. In fact, this is about the 3rd or 4th time I tried to film this intro, and the camera just told me there was a memory card error. So hopefully what I'm saying right now gets recorded. We don't have to do this again. Last time I was out here, I tried to film it with the Insta360, just doing a little walk around, a 360 tour of some of the surface stuff, and I completely screwed up that when I went to transfer the files. Technical difficulties are the theme of this project, I guess, or this video, and then weather difficulties, climate difficulties, because as the Earth warms, as we get more and bigger and worse storms, we're starting to see effects all over the place, not just at my house, but out here at Sandland. And I know I'll have some people say they're going to unsubscribe because I said the C word, and I know I have some folks on here who are anti-science, anti-climate, even though it is kind of a science channel. We talk about a lot of weather satellites, we talk about a lot of weather stuff, a lot of scientific stuff. And anyway, because our storms are getting worse, more intense, more frequent, we've had some impacts out here at Sandland. These days, it seems like the last couple years, things have been being destroyed a lot more quickly from more intense storms, higher rainfalls, quicker rainfalls. We've had road washouts, we've had bridge washouts, we've had all kinds of stuff getting destroyed lately. So it's getting harder and harder to have kind of off-grid, standalone properties, self-sufficient properties when you are fighting the climate, fighting the weather. And I'll just give you a quick demo of what that looks like. So we have a couple spots in the road that are just kind of ongoing problems, but when we get more intense rainstorms, they get washed out faster. Like, this is a common problem area here. I'll show you some more in a minute as we go down the hill. We're also starting to get a lot more trees down on trails and structures. It seems like as things get warmer, a lot more trees are dying, and there are more dead trees around that are just easier to fall over in windstorms. Right up here is the one that is probably part of the thumbnail of this video, although that was from a previous trip. We actually had a pretty big tree right here come down on the back end of the monorail. I lost most of my Insta360 video from the last trip out here, but I did manage to salvage this clip showing the tree down on the monorail before it started being cut up. We have some pretty significant monorail damage. It has smashed the corner here of the rear car, so smashed out the fiberglass. It did not break the window, luckily, but it did kind of pop the window out of its frame a little bit. And yeah, kind of crushed the corner of the monorail car here. Did a lot of damage to the fiberglass and a little bit of the underlying wood and aluminum structure. But yeah, this is something we're going to have to fix soon because it's not waterproof anymore. And if you're familiar with the monorail here, we've got different volunteers use different cars, so it's not all my setup. I've got the first 2 cars in the train down at the end there, but yeah, down at this other end, we've got different people using different cars. JT took over the last one here, so I think he's got some plans to fix that up. I'll see if I can help. I do have some fiberglass cloth, so we might be able to help repair that, but yeah, that's a pretty significant damage to that car, which is really unfortunate. So like I said, I filmed this video before, or part of it, and then lost most of the 360 footage. So I'm trying to remember what I talked about before and what I showed in the video. It's kind of a mashup of all different Sandland projects that we're doing at the moment. For example, today we brought out a U-Haul trailer, and that was full of cinder blocks, or concrete blocks, because I don't think anybody makes cinder blocks anymore. But yeah, these are going to be a root cellar that's going to go right here in this little dugout area. And that is another project that JT is working on, so that's going to be an interesting one for the future. We have about, I think 17 more pallets of these cinder blocks. This was basically 1 pallet's worth that I felt comfortable bringing out in that little trailer. So yeah, something like 17 more loads to come out, and then we can build a root cellar, and if we have extras, we can build a little bunker down at the shooting range or something. We're also starting to get new and exciting parasites up here. So as things get warmer, we're getting new and different ticks, not just ones that give you Lyme disease, but there's also one now that makes you allergic to meat. So yeah, that's scary. I don't want to be allergic to meat. And then, yeah, there's some other weird bugs that are starting to range up here to Minnesota, where they used to just be in the south. So as things get warmer, all kinds of stuff migrates north. Actually, the road looks a little better than it did last time I came out. I think people have been working on it. Yeah, this little diversion, water diversion, was all plugged last time I was out here. Got some more stuff sliding down the embankment here. Yeah, they've been trying to fix this part of the road by putting down these wooden platforms and then chicken wire and some cement. It's just a mess here. It's an attempt to get the tractor up this part, because this part of the road has been washed out so badly that you can't even get the tractor up and down it. So we're down here at the tunnels and the little bridge ford that cuts across the valley here. And this was kind of all underwater a couple months ago. We had really sudden flash flood, just tons and tons of rain, more rain than I think we've ever had in a shorter time than has ever happened out here. And it overtopped this, did not ruin this completely, because there is cement on the upstream end, and just missed our little shooting range. So that was fortunate, because we just finished building this. So I'm glad that it didn't wash away. I usually try not to get into politics on this channel, but sometimes people get weird ideas when I mention climate change. They think that's a political issue, and if, oh, I must be anti-gun too, or anti-American if I believe in science. You know what, guys? You can believe in science and enjoy guns. It's okay. You can have more than one opinion at a time. I don't always show the gun content on YouTube because YouTube's policies can change around that sort of thing. But I do have some of that on Patreon. So if you'd like to support the channel, and if you want to see interesting stuff that doesn't always make it onto YouTube, head on over to patreon.com/saveitforparts, and I'll have some links to that down below in the description. And you might see more stuff like this. All right, our friend D-Day came out and brought more cinder blocks. So we've got a few more there in the future root cellar hole. So one place that climate change has not affected is down here in the Sandland tunnels, which stay pretty static. They stay, you know, same temperature year round, same humidity. It's always 100% humidity. And yeah, it's a pretty nice place to hang out when it's a hot day outside in the summer or a cold day in the winter. Now, it wouldn't be a Sandland video without some tunnel digging, although I really struggle to come up with new and interesting things to show when I'm digging tunnels down here, because it all starts to look the same. And you know what? You guys know what tunnels look like. You know what digging looks like. If you've watched the channel before, you know what all this looks like. So it starts to get tedious, and it gets tedious for me filming it because I'm filming the same thing over and over. If you're a new viewer, sure, you might be interested to see how do we make these sandstone tunnels from the raw sandstone bedrock. In every video, somebody asks in the comments about safety of digging in sandstone. This is stone. This is bedrock, as I say in every video. It's not just sand. And this is the amount of force it takes to blast it out. And I just get a little bit out at a time. So it's not like we're digging in a loose material. This is actually million-year-old fossilized beach sand that has become a rock. Now, the actual main danger is once you turn it into sand by smashing it with something like this, it's bad to breathe it. So we want to wear respirators to keep ourselves safe. And you want some eye protection for flying sand. We were walking along outside here, and I was like, what is this? This is some kind of giant fiberglass thing. But no, it's a mushroom. That is a huge puffball. Sandland leg day. So we've ended up kind of totally redoing the water system here, from water tanks over there to tanks in this structure for the orchard, which has some pretty big fruit. There's a lot of fruit happening over here. We need to come out and harvest this, apparently. And of course our geodesic radar dome, which I have not seen for a couple weeks, so hoping there's no holes in it from hail or whatnot. Trying to get this set up to be a radio telescope or satellite downlink station inside. So I may have shown before my my door situation here. The door just completely blew away. I had a windstorm come through and ruined the door, so that's gone. Yeah, inside the dome is about the same. There's still bees on the ceiling. And we're still working in here. We still have a few things to do in here before we can actually put in the radio telescope. I have other videos on that. I know the acoustics in here are weird. I am right in the center of the dome, so the acoustics are just wacky. But yeah, last time I was out here, and this is in another video series, I put in a cement pad in the center for the future satellite dish. We have some Sandland creatures hopping around the forest. I know this video has been all over the place and hasn't had much of a cohesive theme other than damage to property, storm damage. I just wanted to show some of the things that we deal with when working with an off-grid property like this. It's not even my property. I don't own Sandland. I'm just a volunteer out here who works on different projects, and it takes a ton of my time just to maintain things, and all of that gets more and more difficult every year. It gets more and more of a chore to keep up with the damage from storms, to keep up with the higher risk of flooding, the increased risk of dead trees. So that's the kind of thing that occupies a lot of my time that doesn't necessarily make for interesting video. It doesn't necessarily make for a very cool story. It's just chores that have to be done to keep doing the things that are more interesting. That being said, I do hope this video was at least somewhat interesting to some people and didn't make too many climate deniers unsubscribe. If you want to see more of any of these Sandland projects like the monorail, the geodesic dome, or the tunnels, check out some of my other videos in the Sandland playlist, and stay tuned to see as we progress and expand on all these projects. Thank you to everyone out there for watching, and we'll see you next time.